Welcome back to Ms. King's Kitchen, where so much happens in the kitchen. You guys, I'm excited to have you guys back in the kitchen, but first, especially how the Italians do, we're gonna swish it around, have a nice deep smell, and I'm gonna cheers you guys.
Drink it and if you have your time.
Welcome back. You guys, let's get started. We're making some spaghetti and meatballs. So for my meatball ingredients, I got some lean ground beef, then I got some extra lean as well, breadcrumbs. I like to use bread that I'm like almost about to throw away. I also like to add that into my meatballs as well. So we got that for the meatballs. We got some Parmesan cheese and we got some egg. Now over here, we're gonna be making some marinara sauce. So we got some whole tomatoes, some tomato paste, black pepper again. Bruh. This one is the peppercorn black pepper, so it gives it a little bit more of a kick. Sea salt and oregano. And then in front, all these beautiful fresh ingredients. You guys already know how I feel about fresh ingredients. They are key, especially when you're making a marinara sauce from scratch. So we got some spinach that we're gonna add in there. We got some fresh oregano. This oregano, this one in particular, was actually grown in my condo from my roommate Mandy. She grows some really good herbs. So, and this is one of them, oregano. We got some basil, onion, green onion, and garlic. So you guys, first things first, let's make up these meatballs. We're gonna roll them all out and we're gonna let them sit, chill. Once they're chilling, we're gonna start working on that marinara sauce. So, bada bing, bada boom. I forgot how it goes. Bada bing, bada boom.
Nope.
Let's make some meatballs. Guys, it is meatball time. The way I love meatballs, I really do. So we got our two different types of ground beef. There goes one. We got both our ground beefs in there. Just gonna separate them a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna be adding in some Parmesan cheese. Get that all in there. So this is my day-old bread that I told you guys about. So I'm just gonna break it up in my hand. Try to get as fine as possible. Not too many big chunks. And you guys can use any type of bread for this, you know. You don't have to use a bagel. You guys can use whatever day-old bread. If you guys have an old baguette or, oh, I don't even know why I just said baguette. Was that weird? That was weird. Sorry. You know, like Dempster's white bread? You guys can use that bread. Okay, I don't know why I said baguette. I'm trying to be fancy. You know, sometimes you just want to be fancy. I want to be fancy. Anyways, you guys see I'm wearing an apron today? It has like my little doggy on it. It's like a Smokey. You guys see Smokey? Look at Smokey. Aww. So you guys, adding in about, I would say a half of bagel. I don't want to use too much of the bagel because I also have already pre-dried breadcrumbs. So it's just about done. Some breadcrumbs, some dried oregano. So for this meatball in particular, like there's so many seasonings that you can add into your meatballs. Like meatballs are one of those things, it's almost like a meatloaf. You keep on adding. It's up to you on how much you want to add and how much you don't want to add. Me personally, when I'm making my meatballs, I like to use majority of dry ingredients. So some dried oregano, sea salt, give a little sprinkle. Sea salt, and some black pepper. Now for my egg, I'm gonna put 2 eggs in here. So can I show you guys? I wanna show you guys my trick. So throw this over here. I can crack an egg in one hand. Look at this. Boom! I get so excited every time. Don't judge me, haters. Okay. Alright guys, we got all the goodness in here. We got the breadcrumbs, we got the Parmesan cheese, we got our dry ingredients. So my favorite part, we're just gonna start mixing. So I'm gonna get right in there. Oh yeah, here we go. I think I may wanna add a little bit more breadcrumbs. And the way you're gonna know if you wanna add more breadcrumbs is if your actual meatballs is like, it's just too soft. You guys want to make sure it has a nice good consistency to it. It holds a nice good form and it's not too wet. We're gonna add more breadcrumbs, okay? That's basically what I'm trying to come down to. We're gonna add more breadcrumbs. So I'm gonna mix this up a little bit more. There we go. And it's almost like you're kneading dough. You know, just get in there. Work it in. Work it in. It has a nice form. These are obviously not going to be the size of my meatballs because these would be massive. But I just like to check to see how it's feeling. Right now, it's not too wet. It's not too damp. You know, it's going to give a nice form. Look at that. It's already holding together very nicely, and that's what you want. All right, you guys, I'm ready to start to roll up my meatballs. This is like the perfect size for a meatball, I feel. Can you guys see that? Can you guys see that size right there? I would say it is, a second measurement, we're gonna say 3 centimeters high and about 4 centimeters deep. So we're gonna roll all of our meatballs. You want them all to be roughly around the same size. I feel like the amount that I mixed up today is probably gonna yield me about 20 meatballs, which I feel like is a perfect amount for a family of, what's my favorite number? Have you guys already guessed it? I used to cook for a family, not used to, I still cook for a family of about 4 plus. So I always cook for at least a minimum of 4 people. So my meal today is to cook for 4 or more. Cause you know, we always have a guest that likes to stop by. Come in, welcome. Swear that was my household every other day. My family always taught me you always need to have a clean household. Doesn't matter what time of day it is, doesn't matter what day it is, cause you never know. You never know when someone's gonna stop by. So here we go. I'm cooking for a minimum of 4 people, but it's to feed approximately 6, I swear. Cause I suck at portioning things. My recipe is below if you guys wanna have a look at it. Like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you guys think. You guys, I'll be right back. I'm gonna finish rolling out these meatballs, and then we're gonna jump to the marinara sauce. We're gonna drop these meatballs in there, and I'm telling you guys, it's gonna be a dope meal. It's gonna be a great time with my favorite comfort foods, a glass of wine, and we're ready. And you guys, we're about to start making this marinara sauce. First step, olive oil. Olive oil. It almost sounds like I was saying I love oil, but I'm saying olive oil though. Olive oil. Got the olive oil in the pan. I'm gonna just chop up some onions real quick. Which way do I want it? This way. Now, when I'm chopping up my onions, for this recipe in particular, it doesn't have to be too finely chopped. And the reason being is that I'm actually gonna take all of my ingredients after they've all worked together, and I'm gonna put it in my Vitamix, pulse it a little bit, then put it back into the pot to make sure we have a nice, good, clean, smooth marinara sauce. So I'm doing 1 whole onion. The temperature's looking like it's still gonna be a little bit more hot. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for that, I'm gonna start pressing my garlic. I love this little handy dandy tool. I swear, this little garlic press, and this one is dope because after you press it, you flip it up, you remove it, and it becomes a scraper.
No way!
What? Did you guys know about these type of tools? So I'm also using 1 full bulb of garlic because I love my garlic, especially love the smell of both garlic and onion together. So I think my stove should be kind of where I want it to be now. Let me drop in the onions. There we go. You want to hear that sizzle when you're sauteing any of your food. You want to make sure your oil is temp, it's nice and hot. Let's finish up these garlics. Is it right in the pot now? Only thing always got to make sure you clean it after. You put all your garlic in, snap the contraction together. Do a nice good squeeze. Scrape. Now, if you don't have one of these, obviously all you have to do is chop up your garlic. All you have to do is chop up your garlic, but you have to chop it up really finely. So I really do like this tool. I would definitely say it's one of the best ones in the kitchen. Move this all around. I don't want it to burn. The smell. Jeez. So I want to do a little bit of seasoning right now. A little bit of black pepper. A little bit of salt. Oh boy, this smells gorgeous. I wish you guys were here to smell this. Like honestly, the way onions and garlic smell together is gorgeous. So that work together. While this is doing its thing, I'm gonna start to spoon in some tomato paste. Now, one thing I've learned about tomato paste, you have to cook it off first. You can't just use tomato paste right away. You have to let it cook on its own. So I'm gonna add a little bit of more olive oil into this pot, and then I'm gonna add my tomato paste. And I'm gonna let my tomato paste cook with my onions and my garlic. Once I feel like it's done cooking, then I'll add in my tomatoes. All right, stove is looking good. You just wanna work it in a little bit. There we go, it is doing its thing. Turn up the stove a little bit if you want to. You just want it to cook for a bit. Now for the fun part. I'm gonna add in some green onion from now as well. Add that green onion in. I don't need this cutting board anymore. You guys, it's time for the tomatoes. So with the tomatoes, the way I like to do my tomatoes, I like to drain all of my sauce in there first, without adding in my tomatoes first. So just get the sauce. For the tomatoes, I love this part. I actually squeeze the tomatoes right in my hand. This is how I break up my tomatoes. It gives it a nice good, I don't know. I think I just like squeezing it, you guys. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm pretty sure you guys can buy the diced tomatoes and feel the same way about it, but me personally, I like the whole tomatoes. I feel like it has a little bit better flavor. And you just squeeze it, you get all the juices going in there. Squeeze. So I got 2 cans of tomatoes I'm gonna use for this. Woo! Do you guys see those juices? They went flying. Now, if you guys are feeling real bossy, you know what I mean? It would be ideal if you guys could purchase some vine ripe tomatoes and you guys let them ripe on their own for a few days, you know, and then that's what you use to make your sauce. But not everyone has time to do that. Just all sauce now. Throw that in there. So all my tomatoes are in there now. Looks lovely, looks nice and rich. I'm gonna use some of my cracked, let me open this up. I'm gonna use some of my pepper instead. Give it a nice little fresh taste. A little bit of salt. And now this is where I'm gonna add in my fresh ingredients. So we got our basil. Drop in there. Dropping in that basil. As you guys can see, I'm adding in a good amount of basil in. Basil is just gonna give that beautiful aroma. It's gonna give that beautiful taste. Some fresh oregano. Same thing. Look at this oregano. Woo! That piece got excited. Easiest way to take oregano right off. Look at that. Just pull it. Oh, there we go. One more piece. Give it another little mix. Get all those fresh seasonings down into the bottom of the pan. Look at that sauce, you guys. Doesn't that look gorgeous? And we're not even done yet. We're gonna let it do its own thing now. I'm gonna cover it up. Because it's gonna get covered up for another 15-20 minutes just to let it work together. Let it come together on its own. Then after that, I'm gonna throw it into my Vitamix. I'm gonna pulse it a little bit so we get a nice, good, smooth marinara sauce. So while that's doing its thing, I'm gonna move this onto the back stove. Move it onto the back stove. Try to keep your area as clean as possible when you're cooking. I'm telling you, it will help you guys out so much at the end. Who likes cook? Like, I love to cook, but who likes to clean up? I can't stand the cleanup. So what I personally like to do is while I'm cooking, I'm cleaning as well. If you guys were to see my sink right now, it's empty because literally I like to wash and clean all at the same time. So I'm gonna grab another pot now, which I already have a little bit of oil in this pot. Make sure the stove is still on. Add a little bit more olive oil. And I'm gonna start working on my meatballs now. So let's go grab those meatballs. Dun, 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 dun. Meatballs. They're all rolled out, they're pretty, they're ready. So get that olive oil nice and hot. Once the olive oil is nice and hot, we're gonna drop them all in. You wanna make sure there's a nice coating of olive oil at the bottom of your pot. You wanna make sure that oil is nice and heated. And an easy way to know that your oil is heated, it's just gonna run smoothly across the pot. Like, it's like running water. It's gonna move back and forth. Nice and easy, right? Look at the sauce is already beginning to bubble up. Look at that sauce. I'm so excited to add the meatballs to it after. We're just about ready. Do you guys see how I like to temp my oil? This is such a bad habit. Is it hot? How hot is it? Really hot? Very hot? It's hot. Okay, our oil is nice and hot now. Let's drop in those meatballs. You guys see this double action that I'm doing it? What? Two-handing it. What? Perfect. All my meatballs fit right into my pot. I'm just gonna add a little bit more olive oil for those. Some of my meatballs still have oil touching them, so you want to make sure all your meatballs have oil on them, touching them some way, because you don't want them to burn. So just move them all around a little bit. As you can see, it's already getting the color that we want. It's cooking on each side. I'm flipping these meatballs, but all I can smell is my marinara sauce. Oh my gosh, how I want it right now. So, get those going. Now, while we're waiting for this to, do its thing, I actually already boiled some hot water. Well, it's almost done boiling. And I'm gonna get my pasta ready. Let me find you guys a stove where you guys can see everything. Yeah, okay. So let me do the middle stove. So a trick when boiling water, especially on the stove, I feel like it takes forever. Do you guys not feel like boiling water on the stove takes forever?
Yep.
Jeez, I'm sitting there and I'm just like, so, are you ready guys? So, a trick. Boil the water, pre-boil it. That's what I like to do. So I pre-boil all my water already. Like that's a wicked start. That's a halfway point. Cover it up. Let it come to a boil. Once it comes to a full boil, that is when I'm gonna add in my salt and my olive oil into the pot. Do not add it before, okay? When you add in salt before the water boils, the salt will go automatically to the bottom of the pot and it won't disperse evenly across the pot or throughout the water. Now when making meatballs, like there's so many variations of meatballs that you can make. Today I just made an all beef meatball, but if you are interested, another way you can do it is by adding a little bit of pork meat in there as well. I find that it makes the meatball a little bit softer when you do that. But one tip I will always say when making meatballs, don't use just one type of meat. So today I used lean ground meat and extra lean ground meat. So to kind of give it a little bit depth of flavor. So that is another big tip when making meatballs. Don't just use one type of meat. So now that it's working away, I'm gonna check on my sauce again. Woo! Look at that sauce. So what I'm gonna do with this sauce now that it's been working out for about 20 minutes or so, woo! I'm gonna throw it into my Vitamix, give it a few pulses. Alright guys, I just finished pulsating my beautiful marinara sauce. I'm going to pour it back in the pot now. Look at that. It's all smooth. Oh man, this is some great spaghetti sauce. Let me tell you. Look at that. Look at the consistency. Look at the color of it. You can make it on your own. It's not that difficult. It's super easy. Now that my sauce is done, well, it's all come together. I'm going to add in some spinach. Obviously, spinach is an addition. You don't have to add in spinach, but hey, I love greens. I love my veggies. So we'll do a nice little chop, like nothing serious. You don't do no fine chop. And just add all of that right on top. A little black pepper, a little salt. I'm just gonna push it down into the sauce. Then you're gonna put the cover back on, let it steam for about 5 minutes, and then you're gonna drop in your meatballs. The sauce has been working away for a solid, I would say, 30 to 45 minutes it's actually been working. So we're just gonna drop in our meatballs. One by one, they'll all follow suit. And covered in this beautiful sauce. I'm so excited. I wish you guys were here to eat this with me. I hope you guys, comment, like, subscribe, come back again, obviously. Let me know what you guys think about this recipe. I think it's a dope recipe. I think it's a pretty simple recipe. And if you guys like spaghetti and meatballs the way I love spaghetti and meatballs, you guys are gonna love this. There we go. So what you wanna do, I'm gonna cover this pot back up for another 5 minutes. Let the sauce get with the meatballs get with the sauce, let them come together, and then we're gonna share it out and we're gonna eat. As you guys can see, I already have my spaghetti on the plate, so we're just gonna add the sauce on top. Oh my gosh, look at the color of this sauce. And we're gonna add a few meatballs. I'm gonna finish off this plate with a little bit more basil on top. Try to sprinkle that, there we go. Fresh black pepper. All right, guys, we got some spaghetti and homemade meatballs. I'm gonna grab a fork. Just so you guys can see me eat my food, because you guys aren't here to have it with me, I'm gonna have some for you. That's what I'm talking about. The sauce is fresh, it's great. You can taste the basil, you can taste the oregano. Everything has come together so nicely. Let me get a little piece of this meatball. And as you can see, the meatball is still so juicy. It's so good. It is so good. It is so good. I wish you guys were here to have this with me, but you guys aren't. But I want you guys to like, subscribe, comment below. Try out the recipe for yourself. Let me know what you guys think. Until next time, this is Ms. King coming from Ms. King's Kitchen with another dope meal.